Good morning. It's me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers. And this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of self. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others and in our external environment. And if we want to see change, we have to shift. We have to make change within ourselves. We have to gain new perspective on how we approach situations, on the choices that we make, and then we will see that reflected back to us. All right, today we will remove obstacles, things that are getting in the way from us being able to pursue our dreams, our goals, see our wishes fulfilled. And we are going to start with these centering messages that I like to begin with. So, you came here for a reason. Whatever that reason is, hold that in your mind. That's what you think you need. And it can be wanting to be with a person, wanting to reunite, wanting to reconcile. There's a lot of relationship stuff that we look at. But it's really about the relationship we have with ourselves, right? It can be about... Good morning. It can be about needing a new career, a change in scenery. It can be about wanting to know what your gifts are, honestly, or having, sometimes when we're attached to someone or we're having these experiences, it's like pulling us or drawing us to learn something about ourselves. So it can be that energy as well. So that is what you think you need. Here is what will really benefit you. So when you leave today, after you hear all these messages, this is what Spirit believes that you need. Now, normally I only get one card here, but after I shuffled the card and pulled the top of the deck, I looked down and this card was laying there. And I didn't see it fall down or hear it. So that was strange, but it is the Cycles card. And I felt when I saw it that there was something that was going to need to be ended. And I'm shocked because this is the Death card and I did not know that. So literally this is just a very powerful message. The wind blows, the wheel turns, we go through cycles just like nature because we are a part of nature. And this card, which was the top of the deck, evolve. Creative ideas evolve out of the invisible and profound nothingness of pre-verbal consciousness. Now, I've been doing a lot of, it's 7:33 and 3 minutes on the clock. I've been doing a lot of spiritual reading lately, like esoteric spiritual writings, and I'm reading the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which is very beautiful and interesting and profound. And it just addressed this, the creator sort of being from nothingness, like pre-verbal consciousness. So it's really striking to me that I'm seeing this again. So whatever that you thought you needed, whatever it was, what you actually need to do is evolve from these past cycles. So the thing that you've been doing over and over again, that scythe is cutting that away. We're ending that behavior, whatever it is for you. And it usually has to do with blocking your success. Now, the songs for today, which I never mention them, but look at me. Good morning, Elizabeth. I'm mentioning the songs today. We got, because they were weird also. Like, I mean, the last song I was like, both of them are feeling this way. And it was actually the song About You by Marian Hill was playing during the shuffle for both sides. But the first three songs were super, I mean, Success made sense to me, and that's why I brought it up just now. The Jay-Z song Success was the first song that came on during the masculine shuffle. And this masculine is feeling super stressed, trying to create success, and then dealing with the trappings of success. And he was like, bitch, can I get a breath type of a deal. Then this really weird Pixie song called like Crackety Jones or something like that. I can't even freaking remember. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I saw, oh, it's the Pixies. And it's just this wild ass song about this wild ass person. And so I was like, okay, well, there's like this like fast moving energy coming from that, like somebody who's rushing things. And then I saw the Divine Feminine's block and I was like, okay, now I understand. That fits her, like rushing something, like just, we'll get there. And then there was an Elton John song that I hadn't heard probably ever, honestly. Shoot, I can't remember the name of that one. Also weird. There goes a well-known gun. I pulled out my Stagecoach Times and I read the latest news. I tapped my feet in dumb surprise, and of course I saw they knew. Pinkertons, they pulled out my bags, asked me for my name. I stuttered out my answer and hung my head in shame. Now they found me. Oh, at last they found me. It's hard to run from a starving family. So, I mean, that one was weird, but also tracks probably for someone in the collective. ... So, and then About You by Marion Hill, which was like, I thinking about you, but I also don't need you. And that was, I think both of them are like trying to, but the lady doth protest too much, if I felt from that song. Okay. So ending cycles, blocking you from success. That's what we're doing here today. That's what's going to help you. This is going to transform you. I picked some pretty powerful oracles for today. I was like, what do we need for obstacles? We need open and close a door. So I got the Tarot of the 78 Doors. We need guardians to help us do that. We need spell work. And I got some spell work. And then we need the creativity oracle to help us solve, because creativity literally is the ability just to solve problems, right? Solutions. And then the Thoth Tarot to give us our theme. So that's going to be the oracles for today. That's all coming. Stick around, kids. It's probably going to be a minute. You know me. I like to go on. And then if it's not too long, I do have the Going General cards thingy that I've been doing, which has been helpful for me. If it's been helpful for you, let me know. If you're starting to wrap your brain around what it means to stop thinking about the thing you're trying to do and instead thinking about the feelings and a completely different place where you have those feelings in your life, and getting into that space, and then that starts to attract like energy to you. So that's the end of the reading. Now let us begin. I turned my chair to the left, so I feel it's masculine saying me first. Okay. Also, his song was like pushy today, so we'll let him go first. Get his obstacle removed. Remember, you are composed of masculine and feminine energy. If you're here about a person or people in your life, they too are composed of that same blend of energies. Your match is going to be a mirrored reflection. A person who is meant to trigger you to learn lessons is going to be more like a polar opposite type of a thing. You'll have a wound, and they will be a person that gives that type of a wound. And that's sort of how you'll be able to tell whether your person is sort of a match for you, because their masculine energy matches your own, and their healing process matches you, or is really very close, or they will be the person that is continually wounding you, and you'll know. You'll be like, well, I'm healing from some of these wounds, and then they try to do the wound to me again, and I'm like, oh, that didn't hurt anymore, but they're still wounding me. So, right. Okay, so that's how you can determine information about your person from these readings. But truly, they are a blend of feminine and masculine, as everyone is. Let us begin. The headspace. I was feeling this deck. It's funny. I will assess a deck aesthetically and think to myself, this has a feminine energy. And then I will, do that for others and it'll be masculine. And I got a deck expecting it to have a feminine energy and it does not. So I have shifted it over to the masculine side. But I feel like it is maybe it's like a bi deck. Like maybe it's just going to go either way. The Wild Unknown does that for me. Okay. So this is the Dreaming Way Tarot. This was a gift from Katie Thompson and it's a gorgeous deck. This is the top of the deck for Divine Masculine. Of course, we're doing obstacles removed today, which I totally covered up. So hang on a second. Let me just... Wow. I really had to do that today. I had to put every single empty box and every paper on top of my... Oh, my God. I am having a day. Okay, let's see. The general energy. I knew that anyway, but I needed this. It's like a blankie. It's like a security blanket. I can look at it and not mix up the positions with release and rebuild. So the top of the deck, this is the thoughts that are in the head and the feelings that are in the heart. The ten of cups or chalices in the Prisma Visions deck in reverse. So this is the general energy that surrounds where the masculine is feeling blocked right now. When I see the Queen of Wands, I immediately think Divine Feminine because the Queen of Wands is a spiritual queen. She's the one that is magic. She's usually doing divination. She's got a wand and she's wielding it. She is confident, fiery. It's, of course, Leo energy and the Strength energy, which will not die. I don't know if you've all noticed, but like the Strength card it's a stalker card. And it's even embedded in the Queen of Wands. She has got a fiery temper. She's jealous, prone to wrathful vengeance type like visions. But when she's upright and in her light, she holds a vision like nobody's business. She's incredibly attractive and very, very, very magnetic. The Ten of Cups in reverse in the heart space is, in this case, we're seeing this couple that has climbed up into this tree and they're just, it's kind of an interesting, first of all, it's gorgeous. And this deck, all of the minor arcana form a panoramic view. Excuse me. But it's a unique card, right? Trees represent growth, expansion, family, roots, connections. 7:44 in the clock. And in this case, these two they have climbed. It's like they've climbed. Think about a tree too. It's rough and, not easy to scale. I mean, this bitch is not going to be climbing any trees today. Okay. Is there a ladder next to the tree? Even still, I'm going to be like, throw me an apple. Cause like, I'm not going out there. Oh, there's a tree house. Cute. Like, take a picture and send it to me on Instagram. It's hard to climb a tree. So it's like this couple has overcome they've scaled something, right? Something difficult, but sturdy and deeply rooted. And it's ancient. And they're finally together in it, right? Okay. So that's what I'm getting from this image. Now, the Ten of Cups being about joy and bliss and happiness, spiritual fulfillment. And the reversal here, and this is where masculine feels blocked. I don't feel like I can give divine feminine what she's worthy of. I feel I'm limited in my capacity to share my joy with her. Okay, so that's what he needs to change. He's got to figure out, how do I shift this feeling? So let's look at what is actually blocking him from being able to make that commitment, share that joy with feminine. In the headspace, we have the Three of Cups in reverse. And one of the only times I associate this card with third-party energy and karmic relationships is when it is in reverse. And the Eight of Swords in reverse. This is the obstacle, though. So the other meaning I get when this is a reversal is that it's a delay of the reunion. So because this is the card I also associate with reconciliation, reunion, celebration, fun, having a good time, being lighthearted. It can also be about partying, substance abuse when it's in its reverse, drinking too much. Now, Divine Masculine's song was Success. And the way that I view the Eight of Swords is as a card that is about protecting yourself from the ego's perception of failure in some way, which is ultimately death. The ego fears death. And for us, death, people have social anxiety because you can literally die as a social being. So we create this illusion of protection around ourselves, which really becomes a prison of our mind. An example is, you want to have a lot of money, but you think people with a lot of money are assholes. How many times a day do you cuss Jeff Bezos? Like, why doesn't that motherfucker do something instead of building a fucking spaceship? The son of a bitch, right? Well, that is your ego blocking you from receiving abundance, because now you've put a sword in front of you, and that thought that you've planted is rich people are assholes. So now I would like some money. But your ego's like, do you want to be an asshole? If you're an asshole, people are going to hate you and wish you were dead. So you're now like, okay, I don't want to die from being an asshole. I love this analogy, by the way. It's one of the best ones I could think of today, just so I can keep saying that. So I'm not going to have a lot of money. I'm going to make these little decisions about money that are really stupid, because if I have a lot of abundance, I could turn into that, and I got to protect myself from that. That's the Eight of Swords. Now that is self-sabotage, right? But when we call ourselves out for self-sabotage, all we're doing is blaming ourselves for blocking ourselves from something. And that doesn't really help. That's like, you're very bad, okay? That makes me feel like doing good things for myself now? No, shaming doesn't. So look at it for what it is. There's a limiting belief that you probably aren't even that conscious of. If you are practicing mindfulness, you'll probably see it, and it's really more feel it. What it's going to feel like is a nasty. When I talk shit about somebody, sometimes, and it might even feel a little good, by the way, but there's a little feeling. And that's a sign to me that I have a limiting belief and I'm resisting changing it. And if I can change it, I could have what I've asked for. Grace Strega, that I do the readings with on the weekend, the TikTok live readings, and she's just a fantastic reader and one of my best friends in the world now. And I was on the phone with her the other night, and she's really pushing me to do my music because I'm feeling very disillusioned by it. And I really got triggered, and I felt all of this resistance come up, and I was like, oh, there's my 8 of Swords. So it's going to be like that. When you find the places where you are protecting yourself from something that you're not even aware of, you're going to get it's like a triggering feeling. Okay. That was a long explanation for the 8 of Swords, but it was important because the block for this masculine is that he doesn't have good boundaries, I think, with other people in his life who want him to be the old version of himself. And this can be with past partners, but really I'm seeing friendships, like career, people that the masculine works with, the environment. If this were upright, I would say, oh, the masculine's block is that he's protecting himself from celebration, but it's that he's not protecting himself from something. And it's this exposure to the things that make him feel blocked. So he's needing healthy boundaries with other people in his life. The ability to say, this is none of your business. I choose not to drink and my friends are the people who support me, or I choose not to act in this way, or I am going to commit to this person, or I need you to relinquish your control over me, or there's all different ways this is going to be true for this part of the self. But definitely this obstacle of you are not protecting yourself from some kind of outside influence. And it's not, I know there's going to be 10 people that are going to be like, it's the trifling baby mama, or whatever. But it really doesn't even matter what this is. It's going to manifest as whatever obstacle you don't protect yourself from when you could put up a healthy boundary, when you could put yourself in situations where you're not being exposed to this, or when you could say no to this third party energy. So there was just a message that came through today, and I usually don't. It was like a TikTok message, and it said something about energetic attacks, and usually I don't tune into that, but it's like that actually. It's like not realizing how problematic some outside influence really is and not protecting yourself from it. And it can be like, needing to go into recovery for substance abuse, or needing to remove the people in your life that partake in those substances, or an ex-partner who's like controlling or manipulative in some way, stuff like that. All right. That was a lot. That took so long. Why did that take so long? That was only 4 cards. Okay. So where did this block originate? Oh, shit. Okay. So I actually do have reversals in this deck now. So clear. The World and the Two of Cups. Okay. So a cycle ending. Remember, we saw the cycle ending and the evolution card at the beginning of this reading. So a cycle ending, and the cycle that we're seeing is where one person is giving and giving and giving, and the other person is barely there. So no longer doing this. And the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which is a feeling of, can we with the sounds today? There's the fucking car alarms and there's all this kind of shit. I need more coffee. Okay. This is a feeling of impatience, the way I feel right now, oversensitive. But this is, seeds have been planted and it's time to harvest. It's time to change the cycle between these two people. It's time to either cut someone out or evolve. And that's what I'm really feeling because of the harvest is here. Evolve this connection from this imbalance where someone is giving much more than another and finally balance this out. And so now the masculine is feeling blocked because there is this outside influence that he's not protected himself from. And either he could have ended the connection with somebody and told them there's not going to be a harvest. Or that person can be aware that he is going to start a new connection and change a dynamic, and they're trying to give their opinion or their control or whatever. But it comes from something ending and something new beginning. How is this originating in the 3D? I can't make it up. Seven of Swords and the Two of Swords. Well, hiding, secrecy, duplicity, and standstill, blocking. I'm seeing private accounts, sneaking. There could be a third-party relationship that's happening right now that, like, or the divine feminine in this masculine's life is a third party. But going inward, trying to figure out how to get out of the situation and avoiding making a decision. There's avoiding making a decision there too. These Dreaming Way cards I have an interesting relationship with them. Okay, let's see. What will help remove it? Oh my God. I can't fucking make this up. I can't fucking do it. I can't make it up. The Eight of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Fucking upright. God damn it. This will absolutely remove the block. Divine masculine walking away from the bullshit. Whatever this bullshit is, we talked about it at length for 24 minutes and head onto this flow of feelings and emotions and express the love that divine masculine feels for this divine feminine. You can't make it up. And how obvious that is to just remove the block. What will remove the block of, not protecting myself from toxic behaviors, walking away from the toxic behaviors, and leaning towards love. Okay. And then, who or what should I release from my past to move on? The Four of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. So interessant. The Four of Swords is death again, grief, faith, rest, silence. And the Ten of Pentacles is a material manifestation of our happiness. Because this is a collective reading, I'm getting a few different layers. One of the layers that I'm getting is that Divine Masculine has to release his grief about the end of an old cycle of a family that he tried to build that didn't work out, or what he thought his life was going to look like, something like that. It can be the grief he received in childhood from his own family being broken, and that's probably the original wound. If that is an original wound for you, then you need to imagine a magnetic family, a family that is healed and whole. And if it's difficult to imagine your family like that, you can create, like I have like a young Robert De Niro dad and Meryl Streep mom, like for myself. Like you just create what you need. Go back and remember past events with these healed parents, or go you yourself, your higher self, because you now are your higher self compared to the child that was in the broken family, and go and nurture and care for that child. So if that is a wound that resonates with you, a broken family, you need to heal the broken family wound. You need to heal the patterning in your mind that is functioning in that Eight of Swords, to protect you from a successful family. Because if this masculine has happiness with this divine feminine and has never truly grieved for the happiness that he lost, it's like going to prove that he really did experience terrible, terrible loss. Because see, as soon as you know the opposite of what happened to you exists, you have to embrace that what happened to you was awful. And if you've been numbing yourself from that, from truly feeling it, from truly feeling that grief and pain for a very, very long time, holding on to the grief, holding on to the pain, holding on to the silence about it, then you can't bear real happiness. You can't bear it. It's only after you let this go, whatever this is, and grieve it, truly grieve it. And that requires speaking about it. If you don't talk about what happened to you with someone who can guide you through it, someone who can show you how to heal the wound, then you'll never give yourself this happiness. The second you get this, it immediately makes you see the truth. You're like, if this person can love, then I have not loved. And if this person loves me this way, then I have not been loved this way before. It's almost an unbearable feeling if you've never let yourself have real emotion. I watch clients go through it. People that I work with, I'm feeling myself tear up thinking about it. I'm a being who has the ability to process emotions and survive. Not everybody feels confident they will. But one of my jobs is to, when I work with people, is to draw those wounds out and give them permission to grieve because they've never given themselves permission to grieve. So, Divine Masculine has to let go of the silence about losing material happiness. He also just has to release his he has to stop being silent about what he desires to that would make him happy. This is about him not being expressing that it would make him happy to have a family. It's weird. Even my dog is like, why? Like, I don't know. Something just threw that on the floor. Okay, let's see. That happens all the time. This next position is, what can I learn from this current pause? Oh my God. The Six of Cups, otherwise known as the Nostalgia Reunion card. Also full moon release and Cancer stuff going on here, babes. Page of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. So here's the story. What you're learning from this current pause is how to release the past. How to release the idea that the nostalgia that you have. See, it's difficult as adults. I'm thinking of a client I had specifically whose original betrayal wound came from her grandparents that she lived with in one country, telling her that she was going on a trip to see her aunt in America and that they would see her soon. And they knew that she was never coming back. But they didn't tell her that because they didn't want her to be sad and they didn't want to feel sad about it. And they wanted her to go because she would be happy. So now she's an adult. Now, as an adult, she understands her grandparents did this because they loved her. But as a child, you don't understand that. You can't. You think in terms of black and white, right? Black and white thinking. So as an adult, you can reflect upon the past and you can say, well, my grandparents loved me and that's why they did that. But that original wound the child has left a groove in your brain that says, oh, it's normal when people love you to lie to you and betray you. So then when she entered into relationships with people later, she would choose people that had that personality trait because she was familiarized with that as a child as a normative pattern for the people that love you. So once so as an adult, you can look back and you can see the black and the white, and then you can see the gray, and you could be like, well, my grandparents loved me. So she was guilty because she couldn't really grieve the ultimate betrayal that she never got to see them again. And then her grandfather died. So she literally could never see him again, never got to go to the funeral. And I said, they loved you. But there are different ways of telling a child this information. And it's okay. And we of course we forgive them. We know that it was so hard to do that. But you have to say to the child that was betrayed, you're absolutely entitled to those feelings. And this is how they should have communicated to you. And that's kind of like how you heal that wound. So this card is releasing this tendency to be naive, like to be like a child about the past, you know, like either it's too rosy or you're being an adult and you're like, well, that was the best they could do. Yes, it was the best they could do. But if you don't grieve what was done, you carry that wound and it festers. And you keep reopening it so that you get this chance to finally heal from something that happened long ago. And that's this Nine of Wands here, this deep healing, ancient, like this is a forest, an ancient forest that you have to go and search out these deep wounds. This is what you're learning. So the separation that you've been in has taught you how to do this, which is brilliant because this has given you a new way to look at your material manifestations. Now that you can understand and reflect upon the past, you can hold up your material manifestations now and say, oh, this is why this is happening. This is why. My parents normalized the starving artist stereotype for me. And there's a lot of other financial things that came up, but the starving artist thing was very normalized. Also, melancholia, 8:11 on the clock. So I have to release that deep patterning so that I approach my material manifestations in new ways, and I do it step by step, a little bit at a time. There is no need to rush it. That's going to come in for the feminine side of self, because the feminine side of self is like rushing, and that's a different kind of fear. Okay, masculine's going too slow, feminine's pushing too hard. But this is what we're learning. So this is true mastery here, which is brilliant. What can I look forward to once the obstacle is removed? The Magician in reverse and the Three of Cups in reverse, which is the block. So this manipulative third-party energy will not have power over you anymore. Once you walk away from them and go and express your feelings, and look it's like you're taking your love away from this past party and you're going towards the divine feminine, well, then this third party is not going to have control over you anymore. They won't be able to have power over you. They won't be able to manipulate you any longer. Okay, let's see. I look forward to rewatching this and being like, who do I have to walk away from that's manipulating me? Can't wait to figure that out. Okay, great. Now let's go to divine feminine side of self. We are looking at the top of the deck, of course. Did you think I wasn't going to use this tarot of mystical moments? I'm never going to stop using it. It's the most beautiful deck in the world. Queen of Swords and the Ostara Tarot, another gorgeous deck in the heart space, and it is the Nine of Wands in reverse, which is this really beautiful card here. We just saw the Nine of Wands. It was in the position of what we're learning from this current pause over here. And so now we're seeing it in its reversal and the feeling of the heart space. And this is a general energy surrounding where the feminine feels blocked. So Queen of Swords energy is, she's got clarity, she's forward thinking, she manages her anxiety and her stress well. She's got her she's again clear-headed, that clarity thing, but clear-headed, strategizes, plans, commands armies. She sends the armies into battle, right? She is the creative part of the intellect. Like she's the part where the creativity and intellect work together. The Nine of Wands, I'm hearing unhealed. So I'm just trying to determine this can also mean coming out of isolation. So I feel like divine feminine is feeling blocked because she's like using her reason to try to get herself out of isolation. And I feel this, it's like this thought process of like, I'm healed enough. Like, how can I be still unhealed? Like, what am I missing? Like, where is this answer that's going to finally indicate that I'm fucking healed? I feel you, girl. Okay. And, my cards are falling over here. Here's the block. This beautiful female Knight of Swords and the Nine of Cups in reverse. This is rushing, charging forward, moving too fast. Also, her dress is composed of articles about feminine and masculine equality. It says, a great many intelligent men and women who think that political equality, yada, yada. So she's literally wearing like suffragette newspaper dress. Like, this is a goddamn brilliant artist. I love this artist. She's standing on this feather. So she's light as a feather. She's in her integrity. She's in her truth. But this is a block. And it's a block because it's self-indulgent. She's trying to rush her wishes, to rush her wish fulfillment, to make it happen, to force it to happen. Guess who's like that? So, divine feminine, you're acting as your own obstacle right now, trying to charge forward to your wish fulfillment, really not acknowledging the very first part of my readings. When I say, close your eyes, imagine why you're here, hold that in your mind. Okay, that's what you think you need. But this is what you really need. Now, sometimes that's an alignment. But what I'm seeing here is that when it's not in alignment, you're trying to rush to what you think you need rather than admitting that you might not actually see clearly what you need. Right now, the universe is saying, let something old die and evolve. End this cycle and change. And you're like, I want my old wishes back. I want the thing I wanted. I want to see the truth of it. I want to see the truth of it. I want to see it's coming. This is blocking you. Let's see how and why and how to remove it. We'll begin with, where did this block originate? Bitch, I can't with this fucking shit. The Chariot and the Four of Wands. Upright. I can't get away from it. I have to say it. These are both associated with twin flame. The 1111 from the 4-4 card. The Chariot has the white and the black horse, and they are together in a team, and it's about balancing out and everything. Now, that's what those cards are associated with, and I would be remiss if I didn't say it. However, Divine Feminine's head is wanting to rush this slow moving snail, okay? Her head is thinking the divine is a snail. The divine is a snail. But it's her overthinking because she can't imagine a snail that moves fast. This is the divine driving this chariot. So her head is thinking, I can't imagine this going fast. And because this feeling in the heart space, it's interesting, right? It's like celebration and love. And so it's excitement and it's like a good feeling. Like the Four of Wands is like the greatest. It's like family and marriage and sacred union. And it's such a good feeling. And so she wants to charge into the feeling. She's like, it's gonna be so good. What do you mean? What do you mean? This is gonna be the best fucking thing ever. Why are we going so slowly when this is what we're supposed to be doing? This is what. So she can feel the motion and she wants to just rush in. And I think the other thing is she has mentalized so much about this twin flame journey, those labels and the just the whole storyline. And I think that to some aspect of her has surrendered herself to it. And so she's trying to rush into the experience of it. How is this currently manifesting in the 3D? What the fuck? The Six of Wands, the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups upright. That's not what I thought was going to happen. So it's 8:22 on the clock. This is a peace offering and success and victory. This is partnership, teamwork, and collaboration. And this is reunion and celebration and the total opposite of the Three of Cups in reverse. So divine feminine rushing towards her wish fulfillment is actually causing her to experience success and victory in over third-party dynamics. Like she is liberated, she is freed, she has the internal struggle of her thoughts about being blocked by third parties is gone. So that's why we're feeling, she's like, look, I don't think this is an issue anymore. So I feel that chariot is pushing me forward into that union. So I know what's happening. So it's actually not a bad thing. It's not a bad feeling right now to feel like you're free, like you're victorious from these old dynamics, and that you're also really happy. This is dating. This is working on your sanctuary, building your sanctuary, loving the place where you are. This is like being still and like kind of really enjoying tasting those spoils of war. So yeah, she's like, listen, I'm going to give myself what I need because I know it's here. Shocking. All right. So what will help remove this block? No shit. The Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands in reverse. Look at that. We could have pulled any card, but we pulled another card out of this deck that has the image of the Fibonacci sequence, the God number, in the headspace of the divine feminine, the spiral, It's the key. The key to achieving what you desire is to let go of the thing you desire. I can't make that up. And that's not, you can't be more clear than that. The key to achieving what you desire, and we're being called to think of the slow moving energy that came from that Chariot card. If you want this to pick up, you have to stop mentalizing. You have to stop trying. You have to stop trying to manipulate the energy, trying to manifest. And you have to stop thinking over and over about what you don't want by letting go of what you do want. Because when you think about what you want, you think about not having it, which is thinking about what you don't want. So let the thing go. Let it go. What does that look like? That looks like you don't want it anymore. But you're like, but how do I do that? Well, you realize, you understand that the reason you want it is an illusion. You want the thing because your ego thinks that when you have it, it's going to feel better. But that's the illusion. You can feel the feelings that you think the thing is going to give you right now, in the present moment. You can taste the nectar of the present moment right now in the 3D, where you already have everything you need. This feeling of having everything you need and being grateful for it is how you manifest anything you desire. But as long as you're like, I want it, it can't come. So who or what do I need to release from my past to move on? The Strength card, what did I say? The Hermit card and the Hanged Man. This is the ego having to release the ego, but I'm really drawn to the relationship here, the Beauty and the Beast analogy. The childish idea that you have to soothe some kind of a beast, and a belief in some kind of an eternal connection that has caused you to remain alone and wait for them. This is Hanged Man. You have to come out. It's like you've got the perspective that you need. The truth is, you were soothing a beast. You were spending your time, you were draining yourself, taking care of someone else's needs. And you stayed on your own and you waited and you let yourself be held in suspension, waiting for this person to be strong enough to tune into the connection with you. And they didn't, but you just kept waiting anyway. And it's time now to come out of this dark hermit energy, out of the Hanged Man, and tap into that strength that you have for yourself. What can I learn from this current pause? The Nine of Swords, and I can't make it up, the Knight of Pentacles. The Nine of Swords is, in this deck, is incredible, but this feeling of being watched, but what I'm seeing actually is of watching, the watched pot. Learning that, it's like you keep asking, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And being afraid that this is never coming, The Knight of Pentacles stops so often along the way. The perfectionism. Things have to be done perfectly, precisely, methodically. But you don't have anything to fear because what is coming is this huge payoff. This is a major return on your investment. And it is the countering energy. You are learning to take things slowly because when you rush things, it's an indication that you're just afraid you're not going to get it. You're afraid that you don't truly deserve it. You're afraid that you won't be able to keep it. You are anxious to get something because you don't feel complete on your own and you don't like to feel vulnerable. And it makes you feel vulnerable to have to wait for things because it makes you feel powerless. So you're learning that. What can I look forward to once the obstacle is removed? The Three of Pentacles, which we already got, and the Four of Swords. So here's the Three of Pentacles where you're on your own. This is a card of teamwork and partnership. But in this case, here's the Divine Feminine, and she's got this frog here on her shoulder. A frog prince who just needs to be kissed in order to actually show up. In this Three of Pentacles, we see these bird helpers. And we see a Divine Feminine here. And she's actually youthful. It's a beauty. I mean, I can't get over these cards. And then the Four of Swords, of course, which we already saw Divine Masculine needing to release the silence. But in this case, this is faith. This is faith in the work that you do. And it's getting to rest from working so hard by yourself. That is what you have to look forward to. Once you stop pushing and rushing, you will just have faith and just let yourself take a break from trying to force this creation into the 3D. Let's do the oracles now. Okay. How's everybody doing? Divine Masculine. Let's take a look at you. Oh, but Jesus. Please, I'm going to look at this deck, okay? We're going to look at this deck together. Oh my God. Okay, that's what happened. I was going to say, are you kidding me? Okay. I shuffled it upside down. I was going to say, I don't have reversals in this deck. But interesting. Interesting. So let's start. We just did obstacles removed. We looked at what needed to be released for the masculine, which was the Three of Cups in reverse and the Eight of Swords in reverse. Okay. So this is not having healthy boundaries. Not having healthy boundaries with people, behaviors, etc. Not protecting himself from this. Okay. Interesting. So now we're looking at what door he needs to open or close in regards to this obstacle and what will help him to open or close the door. This little sneaky Page of Swords energy, I don't like it. This creepy pedophile energy. Like, what is with this dude? Yeah, Divine Masculine, being a little creeper, just watching. Behind the scenes, just peering, just being curious, just, not really working up the courage to just go be like, hi, I want to actually have something with you. What will open the door? Lightening up. It's literally this card reversed. Lightening up will help the divine masculine. And putting away it's just what we looked at, like walking. This is like confirmation. I was like, oh, let's get some more advice, and the universe is like, why don't we just confirm what I said already? What did I stutter? I was like, if you freaking walk away from the toxic third party energy in your life, you're going to be able to celebrate finally. Doesn't get any clearer than that. So divine masculine needs to work up the bravery to face off this third party. Hello, Pink Chica. To face off this third party. And I also just think he needs to be lighthearted and have much more fun. This is shady. Like, just have a lot more fun approaching this reunion with the feminine. Oh my God. So which guardian is going to help him become brave enough to actually come into union with feminine energy? This guardian angel is supporting him in commitment to help him keep his commitments to himself. This is like where we are saying, I am going to walk more, or I am going to take these supplements regularly, or I am going to drink less, or I am going to start to do a gratitude journal every day once I get into a relationship. Keeping your commitments to yourself. It's funny because I had a conversation with my sister about this. We talked about commitment issues with her partner, or not just her partner, but our partners in our lives. And like in a general sense. And I was saying, if a person is in your life is reflecting that they have trouble with commitment, then there's something in you that has trouble with commitment. And she did not like to hear that. I don't like to hear that either, but I know it's true. And what she didn't like was like, well, but you should be able to have a boyfriend even if you don't keep your commitments to yourself. And I didn't fight with her, but after I hung up, I was like, why? Why should you be able to have somebody in your life who is supposed to experience like a version of you that is loving and nurturing and kind to yourself and, able to provide for yourself, protect yourself, and takes care of yourself so that your body stays in good shape so that you can live a life together because you have responsibilities that you have to share together. I really do think you should keep your commitments to yourself now, not later after you get with somebody who inspires you to do that. No, like you should do it now because you love yourself. So if you're like, and the thing is, if you're not successful at it, you don't have to beat yourself up and be like, wow, you're a piece of shit. You just have to be like, that's okay. It's hard to do that. I'm gonna just try to put myself in the best possible position to be able to be successful in this. And if I can't quite be successful in this one thing, I'm going to start small in another way. That's what your partner deserves. They don't deserve that you are like perfect. They don't deserve that you have like that when you're like, I'm going to run a marathon every year for the next 10 years, that you do that. And then if you stop doing that, that you're an asshole and they can dump you. They just deserve that you make an effort to keep commitments to yourself and that you're accountable when you don't. And if you are like that, then they're going to be like that too. Then I asked for what spell work could support us, because I thought that would be kind of interesting. Like, what spell work can we use to unblock, in other words? And we're getting inspiration from my spellcasting deck. And this is It's saying inspiration beckons you to trust in your imagination, for this is the gateway to real magic and a world that you wish to light up. Call upon the spirits of the air to stimulate your mind and illuminate any creative ideas. A flash of inspiration to bring about a brilliant revelation will change your course and is reflected in your thoughts and dreams. Focus and follow up on inventiveness and innovation. Allow your inner creativity to be expressed. Take long walks to clear the mind and allow nature to truly inspire you. So throw caution to the wind and watch as your visions manifest into reality, so you too become someone to aspire to. The spell incantation is to face east at sunrise during a new moon phase on a Tuesday. I happen to have a witch's almanac right next to me. Hang on one second. Because whenever I pull these cards, I'm always like, how would you know? And then I'm like, oh, because I actually have all the moon phases in a calendar, but I don't know if I have it. I don't know if it's easy for me to find in this. I remember seeing it though. Yep, there it is. Anyway, you can always Google these things because this is a timeless reading. So whenever you get this, you can Google it and find it. It's too hard for me to find right now, but you can get an almanac so that you can find a new moon phase on or around a Tuesday. And remember, you have 3 days like around that time. So, but face east at sunrise during the new moon phase on a Tuesday. Light a yellow candle, and I'm sure yellow for confidence and Queen of Wands energy. Now, I love that this is coming up for the masculine because this is the Queen of Wands. So this is the vision that he has, right? Basically. Spirits of air, sweep through my mind, clearing all blocks and open in kind. Imagination is the key. Unleash true gift. Trust what I see. Paint, write, sing, create, have fun. Draw from that inspiration. Yellow flame illuminate. Clarity to meditate. Connect with Muse. Passion fired. Now I truly am inspired. Blow out the candle and say, gratefully, I accept the magic of you, of protection to assist in all that I do. Lend me the courage, build power in me, assist my transcendence, so mote it be. So some of the ways that you can do this without doing that specific spell, although if you can do that new moon spell on, that's amazing. But you can just imagine it also. You can just imagine it. You can rewind, close your eyes, and do it, say it with me. But other things that you can do is meditate daily, start a new project, write, paint, draw, get creative, get out into nature, take long hilly walks, and blow the cobwebs away for clarity of mind. So those are all ways that you can break through this obstacle. I love this new way I'm doing this. Okay, cool. And then here is one way that you can, another ritual way. This is dark moon energy. In the dark of your heart lives new breath waiting for you to release its ghost. This is the fucking death card, bitches. OMG. Let's see. Sorry. I'm so aggressive today. I don't know what is going on. So this is giving yourself time to rest so that you can be prepared for your next cycle. Remember, the cycle is ending and you're going to be reborn, right? So giving yourself some time to rest. Often that means letting go and releasing things that have no place in your life's new era. Take this time to focus on creating something new, but do not act on it just yet. Allow yourself to focus. It's 8:44 on the clock because I just got a freaking message. Oh my God. Okay. Allow yourself to focus on new ideas and be sure to let your imagination run wild. The best way to get over something old is to get excited about something new. Holy jeez. Oh my God, this reading is freaking. Also, can I stop putting the books on the shit that I need to read? Son of a bitch. Okay. God damn it. All right. So now, this is your message from the Creativity Oracle. Free associate. Allow the first thing that comes into your mind without self-censorship to bestow a vision upon you. This is number 71. So whatever just popped into your mind, hold that. For some reason, I saw a lime. I don't know why. Don't even use limes very much, but a green lime popped into my head. Citrus. I'll have to look that up. 71. Okay. The free associate card is an invitation to pick an image on this card. There you go. Pick an image on this card, a word in its text, or a second Creativity Oracle card, and then let its meaning freely percolate through your consciousness. Oracles are tools for understanding. What is the first thing that card's image or words bring to mind without you censoring it? There are giraffes, but on closer examination, they are a family. Families need a home, and there are huts in the distance, but the wolf seems to be a clear and present danger to this family. Perhaps the meaning is that the family is too exposed to danger and should spend more time at home. Free association is an enjoyable way to expand your mind and become more intuitive. Time spent allowing your inner guidance system to speak to you using this technique can present you with concepts and plans of action that you might never have otherwise formulated. I'm just trying to think of what that lime meant to me. For me, lime is like something that, like, it's like vitamin C. It prevents scurvy. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I can't think of other things, but it could be the color just green, abundance. I feel that. And then this, Divine Masculine. This is your theme for the week. It's actually your theme for the day, really. The next 2 days until I'm back on Wednesday or on Friday. 8 of Wands. Go with the flow. Messages. Communication. It would behoove you, sir, to communicate, I feel. Like soon. Okay. Divine Feminine, your turn. So, your obstacle that you are working on is no longer rushing, be careful what you wish for type energy. No longer rushing, trying to push, force, control your outcome. Interesting. It says, what door needs to be closed or opened for you to release? This is the Ace of Cups. Please don't hate me when I tell you that you just need to love yourself. You need to love yourself, and you have to feel the energy of the divine union that is within you. At the moment that this child is baptized, this child is part of this family of God, right? And this is all coming here through this water, through the divine. So you already have all that you need. It's so annoying. I'm so sorry to tell you that. The door to close is the 10 of Wands. This is putting down the burden of something. In this image, there is a masculine who is behind a glass door, separated from this divine feminine that is an inner child. And it looks like people this guy looks kind of judgy. I don't know. It's like this masculine is trying to get to this feminine energy, trying to communicate to her, but won't let himself out. He also is like seeing her from behind this door. It's like he feels like he's invisible, but he's not. There's a barrier there. There's this barrier to communication. And I feel like divine feminine is in a childish manner, I think, choosing foolish individuals who don't communicate well. So I do feel that divine feminine got to stop believing that carrying someone else's burden or trying to share someone else's burden is equal to love. That's not what love is about. It's not. It's become something that we have overlaid over love relationships because it's been about survival. Very, very, material 3D kind of a concept of love and relationships. It is not divine feminine's burden to carry the divine masculine's baggage. She's got to put that down. She has to put down the burden of being taken care of by somebody who can't even communicate. She doesn't need that type of an energy in her life. It's hard, divine feminine, because you won't ever hear that communication until you don't want it. This is what would help remove it. You know what? On second thought, I don't want it. I don't want it. I thought about it. And when I was honest with myself, these wishes that I have, kind of self-indulgent, kind of childish. As soon as you do that, the masculine energy feels it. They feel the pressure, the burden that you're putting on them go away. Because they were never supposed to be the ones that fulfilled you. You were supposed to fulfill yourself from the beginning. So just being like, I don't need it, Like, he's great, but like, I'm good. Honestly, I am good. Like, I'm here for it. I got stuff to do. Here is your guardian, the Lord. It's Jesus Christ. Miracles. Believing in a miracle. And he's holding the earth here because he has ultimate dominion. And the dominion that he received comes from being reborn after death, right? Christ is a healer. He heals people by only ever seeing their full potential and never ever seeing anything he didn't want. That's usually the skill that a guru brings, the God mind, right? This is what's going to help you unblock. Now, it's interesting. It's like you need a miracle to stop rushing. You're like pushing into this. But for me, what this is like, it's like Jesus is like, listen, do you think you can take care of this better than me? I got this. Okay? Sit back, relax, enjoy yourself. Christ is handling it. Ooh, feminine. Boundaries in reverse. Very interesting. Let's see, because this is the spell work that's going to help you unblock. Now, what do we see here? Who is being pushy? Who is trying to make things go fast, rush things in? What kind of spell work are you doing lately? What kind of spell work are you doing? Because are you violating boundaries? Let's see. You're being taken for a ride again. Remember, this was in reverse, so we have to keep that in mind. People do like taking advantage of you, don't they? The problem is that you like to please people, and so you avoid letting them down and pander to their requests. You have a kind soul and would do anything for anyone. It's a beautiful gesture, and you genuinely want everybody to be happy. But at what cost? If your own wants and needs are being ignored, then always putting others first means that you're not valuing yourself. When you say yes to others, make sure that you're not saying no to yourself. Eventually, you'll feel worn down, trodden on, and resentful. It's time to be assertive and put boundaries in place. So, the spell incantation that you can do, you can visualize this right now, or you can actually choose to use the timing that's indicated. But they say hold a piece of rope and elderwood as you face north at dusk under a dark moon on a Saturday. So that's the timing of the spell for the most energetic power. But you can also just picture this in your mind and say, limits reached, boundaries crossed, advantage taken, respect lost. Standing strong upon the earth, elder, dispel to rebirth. Wrap the rope around the wood, binding two words, yes and should. Releasing any obligation, banishing all exploitation. Divide and part, now draw the line. Boundaries placed, my life is mine. Purposefully draw a line with the roped wood in the earth in front of you and say, gratefully, I accept the magic of you, of protection to assist in all that I do. Lend me the courage, build power in me, assist my transcendence, so mote it be. The magical meanings you can take away from this are that you like to relieve people of burdens. Holy shit. Rather than impose. That is literally your closing and opening of doors. I can't even make it up. You are under no obligation. Saying no empowers you. See your demands from another's point of view, and boundaries ensure respect and understanding. Now, both the masculine and feminine can use boundaries. So, how crazy is it that we got the 13 card for masculine, which was a death card, and now we are getting the 39 card, or the transformation card? This is like 1,000 storms held in hands, soft against the winds. There is change arising from deep within. So, I'm going to read the whole thing actually. What is transformation but changing one thing into another? We are all after some alchemy, turning the lead of our lives into golden dreams and opportunities. A witch's specialty. She knows how to bend energy to her will and make something out of nothing at all. Alchemy, magic, manifestation. It all leads to the same things. Changing what was into what you want it to be. There was an endless supply of resources for how you might go about such a change. There is no right or wrong answer for the transformation you seek. When transformation finds itself in a reading, it is because you are on the cusp of a significant shift. The winds are rolling in, so you better get ready. Even if you aren't aware of it, you've set things in motion. Every thought, every prayer, every action and inaction is a seed of manifestation waiting to take root. You, my most beloved, are about to see this manifestation surface. Be prepared, as this may be swift and unpleasant, like a tornado. This transformation will be especially unpleasant if you've also pulled the Banshee card, which we didn't, thankfully. Change is rarely easy. Sometimes change comes to us in ways we least expect, forcing us to make moves we wouldn't have done on our own. These might be destructive and chaotic, But the dust will settle and we will be left with a clean slate to fill with everything we truly want. So for me, this helps you unblock because it is assuring you that transformation is coming. And it's a warning that if you rush, see, here's the thing. You have been rushing in your mind. You've wanted a fast, swift change. And you're being told right now, you're going to get it. And it's probably not going to be super comfortable because you pushed really hard. Now, what you pushed for is your wish fulfillment. And you're going to hear everything. You're going to hear this expression. This is what you were trying to push for, the truth. But you're about to hear all of the truth, and it's going to be uncomfortable. So be prepared. And it's interesting because your boundaries card is saying, say no when you need to. So you were like, I want to hear this communication. I want to hear from this divine masculine. I want to hear what he has to say. And it's possible that the information is going to be uncomfortable and require you to say no. And this lesson is about you learning that when you are pushing for something that you don't need, when you get it, it will be clear that you don't need it. And then you will not want it. And when you don't want it, that's when you can have it. So in a way, this may have already happened. You may have already experienced this uncomfortable information that pushed you into this place where you don't want it. And now you're getting this indication from the universe that's like, what is dead has died. And now the new is being reborn. And because you pushed for this swift transformation, you experienced a very swift ending that was uncomfortable if you've already experienced it, because for some you may have already experienced what I just described. Very interesting. Wow. You're just okay. So you are getting this wounds card for your healing energy. Withheld support from the past can cause low self-esteem that cripples action. The wounds card is an indication that problems you are now encountering in your creative process are related to past experiences that undermined your confidence in your abilities. Look to your past and recall what you can about the experience or the person who failed to support you in your attempts to actualize your individuality. Unexamined wounds have more power to derail our creative efforts than those we are aware of. Wounds heal over time in a healthy person, but they heal faster if they are understood. Facing our wounds honestly and directly, but being as kind to ourselves as we would to a wounded child, is a sign of emotional health. Selecting the wounds card can also mean that it is another person's past experiences that are impacting the issue at hand. Hey, how do we know that is true? There's the wounds. We talked at length about them needing to heal. But these are also your unexamined wounds. The time that you have been given is a gift to heal. But you're rushing it. And healing wounds quickly is possible, but it can be uncomfortable. Here's your theme for this week. The 4 of Cups upright. This says luxury. This is meditation, being grounded. It is fantasizing, and it's about your dreams. I do think this is a call for meditation, and it's about also accepting offers or not accepting offers. It can be about not accepting an offer, actually. There's a lot to think about there on that divine feminine side. If we have a masculine with no boundaries, a masculine side of self with no boundaries with a past third party, a feminine who's rushing, who's trying to rush this masculine to come in before he's fully disconnected himself from this third party, then you're looking at now having this love relationship starting to come together, but being unhealed in these wounds in regards to our past, which makes for an uncomfortable beginning. Keep that in mind. We are now at the very end of the reading. We're going to do the final oracles for the union. And this is where I say, if you would like to book a personal reading, please go to the links below, pearlsprayers.com. There's a member page that shows you every possible thing that you might want to click on the site. The Tell Me Everything spreads, all my social media, for my music, as well as tarot. And it's also available is the Spiritual Nourishment course. If you're interested in that, there's a link to a video describing what that involves. And anybody who signs up the course is automatically a member of the site and can access the Tell Me Everything videos. If you sign up for the course and you have trouble accessing anything, please let me know, because sometimes there's this like one or two little steps and I have to like go and click something on my end. It's really silly. So if you're having any technical difficulties, please let me know. Anyway, all that information is below. And of course, I'll be back here on Friday for the release and rebuild spread. Tomorrow, I'll be doing the Tell Me Everything spread, which is really fun. It's the two sides of self. And I tell you the things that are hidden from each other, the things that you're sorry about, the things that you want from each other, the things that you long for. And it can be up to a 2-hour reading sometimes, although they tend to be a little bit shorter. But that is over on my the members part of my website, and all the information for that is below as well. It's only $3.33 to join, or if you purchase the Spiritual Nourishment program, you're automatically a member. That is how you can support me. This is my only gig, so I do need your support. You can just click support if you want to send a gratuity. There's ways to do that on the site. You can send me a deck. I love getting new decks. It makes for much more interesting readings to get all these different layers. So there's all those ways to support me. And then, of course, like, subscribe, share, do all the things. Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue. For the both of you, what door needs to be opened or closed? I can't really make it up, can I? Because it really is the Eight of Swords again. It really, really is. And it's about boundaries. And in this case, this feminine is incredibly vulnerable, and she's being chased out of what looks like a prison or a dungeon or something by these ghosts. So this is like being trapped in the headspace. And what will open the door is very interesting. It is actually the Wheel of Fortune, divine timing and change. Changing things, the wheel turning, cycles ending. Just letting this loud truck pass. So the two of you, you need to leave the mental prison that you're both in. One of you is in a mental prison being focused on the time of how long. You're both actually there. You're both actually thinking about the time this takes. But one of you is focused on the time, trying to rush the time, force the time, push the time. The other one of you is trying to end the karmic cycle with somebody that is invasive, interfering, difficult to protect yourself from, that causes you to feel vulnerable. So, and you're both actually doing that, because there's a third party divine feminine has had that we've seen her release that is equally as problematic and part of her mentalizing about the past as well. So you have to change this behavior. This is a self-imposed behavior. So you have to change it. Now, we don't really change, we shift, right? So if the way that I can describe this is, if you're an anxious person, like, oh, you're anxious, that anxiety can be turned into like, I'm so excited for this to happen, you know? Or if you are a stubborn, rigid person, You can be like, well, I'm going to keep these commitments. I'm going to do this. Like, you take the thing that is working against you and you put it to work for you. So you have to change some aspect, make some kind of adjustment to how you're thinking about your situation, how you're thinking about the time that things are taking, and how you're thinking about your ability to make changes in your life to welcome in the success that you desire. Now, masculine was feeling like he couldn't handle success. That was the song that was coming out first. So the action side of self is feeling like success is going to be too much responsibility. And that's because that side of self has been in the lone wolf mentality rather than in a supported environment. The guardian that is going to be here to protect you and help you both is Mother Mary. So you can pray the rosary if you are open to that as a means of comfort, meditation. You can listen 9/11 on the clock. You can listen to music about Mary. There's so many beautiful like choirs that sing like different songs for Mary. You can look up May crowning is like a celebration of her. So there'll be like May crowning records that will be all about Mary. But invite this maternal energy in. She's supporting, nourishing you, protecting you. She's the one who helped Christ begin his ministry. It was Mary who inspired Christ at the wedding of Cana to perform the miracle that would allow everybody to keep partying. Like, gotta love that. She's like, bitch, don't let the wine run out. Just turn that water into wine. I know you could do it, boo. Jesus was like, oh, okay. And everybody got super drunk. Somebody was pointing out that, I know his sin. She was saying everyone was drunk. You couldn't drink water. Water killed you. Water had bacteria and it was poisonous. People just drank wine. And like, I was like, wait, that's true though. So you've got Jesus and Mary coming out in this reading, which for those of you who are comfortable with their presence, sometimes that can be very triggering for those of us that have had experienced a lot of persecution from practitioners of this faith. However, the actual beings that inspire this are not the humans who talked about them for centuries. So let that be some comfort to you. But this is just generally the energy of miracles and healing, and the mother energy, the goddess energy, the divine mother. And you can, of course, give her any accoutrement that you desire. So Mother Mary is here to support you. And then it's so interesting because when I was like, I'm going to do these spell work cards. I thought about this card. I was like, I wonder what the prosperity spell is. And I guess we're going to find out. So the spell work that you can do to help open up that door for the both of you to releasing your fear of success is this prosperity magic. So let's take a look at this. It's been a long, hard slog, and you've wondered if you'll ever reap the benefits you worked so diligently for. As you face financial responsibility, a little extra cash would certainly be very welcome at this time. Remain calm and courageous, for your constant worry and concerns are about to be a thing of the past. Excuse me. As a successful and flourishing circumstance beckons. The energy of affluence surrounds you, signaling that opulence and financial success is yours for the taking. Wealth is knocking on your door and asks you to invite in a little luxury, for this is a most prosperous time. So, the spell incantation. Drop a coin in a jar at dawn on a Thursday during a new moon. Place the jar and a citrine crystal in the wealth corner southeast of a room and say, so you can do this tomorrow actually. Well, it's not a new moon, but Thursdays in general are good for magical spells, whether it's the new moon or not. But if you're only just imagining this, you would place the jar and a citrine crystal in the wealth corner, the southeast corner of a room, and say, jar of prosperity, vessel of wealth, magical focus heals financial health. Placed within a corner of the room, a coin dropped each day breaks miserly gloom. Make wishes in ribbons to tie upon a tree. Relax so money flows in easily. Yellow citrine invites fortune in. So too doth green, I'll wear it to win. Leave your new money jar in the wealth corner to maintain magical prosperity and say, gratefully I accept the magic of you, of protection to assist in all that I do. Lend me the courage, build power in me, assist my transcendence, so mote it be. The magical meanings are stop focusing on money. You'll be supplied with what you need. Be careful what you wish for, which Divine Feminine already got today. A lucrative deal is an offer. And understand the law of attraction. All right, so that is your spell work and also candle magic. Speak your breath into its velvet. Recite along its spine all that you desire, all that which will unravel. So this is, oops, throws it on the floor. Dang, I just put my hand on the Banshee card. And that one thing was like, if you pull the Banshee, and I was like, well, we didn't pull it. Then I just put my freaking finger on it. Son of a bitch. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. So, when candle magic is in reverse, you are being guided to call in good spirits to help with your goal. Have you ever tried invoking a deity or angel into your spells? If not, perhaps now is the time to give it a go. If you have, maybe there is a new deity that is waiting and willing to help you. Don't be shy about asking others for help. Sometimes we need a little helping hand when things become overwhelming or we aren't sure of how to proceed. So both of you got married. So I would light a candle for Mother Mary. I think that would be really powerful for you to do. All right. And then we are getting your healing energy. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, my God. Well, let's do this first. Your healing energy is healing fear. This is the first card in the deck. The fear card is an indication that your fears will paralyze your ability to actualize your creativity if you do not face them with calm awareness and the knowledge that our fears exist to keep us safe. This is the frickin' I can't even think. 8 of Swords. Also, thanks for saying I look great. All right, selecting this card can also be a reminder that the fear of success is as controlling as the fear of failure. Both want you to stay safely where you are. To deal with your fears, you must first be able to recognize the difference between when your fears are trying to protect you and when you are operating unconsciously on fear autopilot, allowing yourself to be scared away from your desired course of action by habits and compulsions you created as coping mechanisms to deal with past traumas. Once recognized, you can face your fear dragon and actually ask it what it is trying to keep you safe from and why you do the things you do when fear takes over. Wow, that is really great advice. And are you ready for your theme for this week? It's the Four of Wands. It's completion. It matches my shirt, which is green, like the lime that popped into my head. I'm now imagining. And then the prosperity spell. Interesting. I guess I will maybe I'll get green limes and put them in a bowl, and it will just represent like prosperity. I'll do oranges too, because I know oranges are like good for that. Completion, sacred union, marriage, celebration, having a great fucking time. But this is coming into union in self. When you do that, when you're facing the fear that's holding you back from doing the thing that you want to do, the person who you want to be with also faces the fear that's holding them back from what they want to do. So what do you want to do that isn't about your person? That you're afraid to do? You're afraid of the responsibility. You're afraid of how difficult it's going to be. You're afraid you're not going to be able to do it well. You're afraid you're going to fail. What is it? Always emphasizing that for us. That's the thing that you need to do. When you do that thing, now listen, you got the Page of Pentacles somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but I think it was over for the masculine. It was what he was learning from the current pause. I'm not telling you, like, I want to finish my record, okay? It's going to cost me a lot. I'm not supposed to worry about what it's going to cost. I just need to do it. There are 7 more songs that need to be completed. I just need to start one of them, right? I just need to go do that one that we're doing next. That's it. And each day I need to do one little thing that is completing that record. And one little thing that is building my sanctuary in my own space so that I like where I live and I feel comfortable. And one little thing that is improving my relationship with my body and with food. And one little thing that is connecting me to others. I have a really good planner right now that I recommend from this company called Anecdote. I don't know if you can see that. And the reason I like it is because, okay, cool. Can I see the pages? Thank you. Is because they give you a priority section and then a to-do section. So I am not much of a scheduler. If I schedule myself, I rebel against it. But obviously there's certain things I have to do on time. But for me, the priorities thing really helped me because in the beginning, they have you identify your yearly goals. And I did that, although I didn't finish my personal ones yet, but I did my career goals. My personal ones I'm trying to get clarity on. So as I've gotten some clarity on my goals, I then, at the beginning of each week, they have a section that has you write down first your priorities and then your to-do, and they have you separate it. So it's like, what is the priority? Well, you can go back to your career goals and you'll be like, well, finishing my record is a priority. So I'm going to put finishing my record here. And then when I go to make my to-do list, there's a lot of things I need to do to complete my record, but there's only a few things I could do this week. So I have to break down finishing my record into the pieces that need to be done and just pick one part of it and do that next step. So organizing yourself in some way where you are making your dream a lot more manageable. Like, for instance, let's look at this masculine who needs to, he's got to end a karmic cycle with someone else or a karmic behavior that he has, drinking or not coming forward or not being communicative or whatever. It doesn't even matter what the cycle is, but he's got to end the cycle, okay? Grieve over the ending of the cycle because he doesn't have that option anymore. Now he can't numb himself out this way. So he has to have some grief over that. And then after the grief for that is done, he has to ask you to marry him. What? That's a huge leap, okay? That's like, I have to make the biggest commitment of my life. Okay, that's super fucking overwhelming. Break it down, okay? Break it down. There's all different things that have to happen. The first thing that has to happen is just conversation. And conversations with your feminine are fun. You enjoy them. They're a good time. You love them. You have to have a conversation, and then you just have to tell her the first thing, which is, I have ended karmic cycles. And I did that because I wanted to be ready to move to the next level with you. And I don't know how we're going to do that, but I just know that I want to, and I'm telling you. And then the feminine can be like, holy shit, that's what I've been fucking wanting you to tell me. And I want to do that too. But you told me a lot of other things that I don't know about yet. I don't know how to deal with all of that, but let's just be on the same page about we feel the same way. Okay. You start there. And then the rest of the stuff is piece by piece. But where you start is celebrating. So I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think you can release your fears about it. Work on keeping your commitments to yourself this week. Work on healthy, stable foundations in relationships, which include healthy boundaries. All right, let's do this. It's going to be over an hour. I don't know what the fuck. I just can't. It's impossible. But this is important. So we're going to be doing, what is the thing that Divine Masculine keeps thinking about over and over, can't stop? What about the feminine? What is, okay. Well, that's a bit much. How about this one? Something they should think about rather. What should they know, or what will help them get through that? And then how the hell can they just go fuck general about it? Okay. I like how I talk to my guides. My guides. How the hell can they go the fuck general about it? Okay. Oh my God, up in heaven. Divine Masculine has been thinking about this heart card over and over. Can't stop thinking about it. It's also the Knight of Cups. I love you and I want to tell you, but I don't know how to tell you, and I want to tell you, I don't know, but there are so many possible ways of doing it. There's all the fish in the sea, and there's this one person who I love, okay? So what will help masculine is understanding that there are a lot of ways to approach expressing, telling someone that you love them, and that the opportunity is being protected, right? It's interesting because this umbrella actually has the rain underneath, and the rain is what is keeping the fish alive, right? They need water to survive. So they're protected from the air, they're protected from the thoughts, and instead they're just immersed in the feelings. That's the image that I'm getting from this. So, and the fish are swimming toward the heart. So I really feel that rather than try to think about all the different options or opportunities for how you can express love for the feminine, that's going to be an inspired thing. Remember, your inspiration thing is going to come from like meditation, from drawing, painting, being creative, something like that. So what is going to help you go general, it's interesting because I don't have reversals yet on this deck, and this card came out in reverse. It is the Clouds card, or the Knight of Wands in reverse, okay? This is not being sure about something. This is about not having been consistent in the past, having cloudy thinking in regards to love, and not knowing exactly what you wanted to get from it. Seeking warmth, desiring warmth, but not being sure how to express that warmth, okay? So you need to go general about this. So you need to think about a time in your life not having to do with this feminine. I think it would be great if you maybe were thinking about a time when you are trying to think about what you wanted to do in the world. Because the Knight of Wands is about having a desire, and then about not really putting your whole self into it. And you you weren't, so it's like you kept saying, I want to do something. Like when you were a kid, you were like, I want to, this is a, like, just, I want to build a tree house. Okay. And you just kept, you saw tree houses in books, tree houses on TV shows, and you wanted to build a tree house. And it was something you really, really wanted to do, but you would pretty much just only imagine it. You would love bomb it. You would talk about how much you wanted to do it. And, you would fantasize about ways that you could do it, but you didn't really know how to. It wasn't clear. You couldn't see a clear way to build it. And then an adult, somebody who could help you achieve this, somebody who could say, oh, listen, after work, when I'm done work, we'll drive around that new housing development. They throw all this wood away into these big dumpsters, and we'll just grab some and use it, and we'll get all of our supplies that way. And that's how you did it. You figured it out. You finally got a clear path. Someone else came in and just said, like, oh, I know how to do that. This is how you do that. They gave you clarity where you didn't have clarity. It took you from a place where you were just sort of thinking about something and fantasizing about it, wanting to do it, but not having a clear direction, not really feeling like you could totally put your whole self into it. But as soon as they told you, oh, we can do it this way, then you were able to start building the treehouse. Now, you're going to have to come up with something in your life that fits that, something where you didn't know how to do something and you received the clarity you needed to see how to go forward, and just feel what that felt like. And as that happens, you will start to assume that law of assumption. You will start to assume that a solution is going to come. And the solution will come. And it won't come because you're trying to force it or manipulate it. It will come because you let go of it and focus on something else entirely that made you remember what it feels like to see the solution to a problem clearly when you didn't think you could. All right. And for the feminine, you cannot stop thinking. This is the anchor. You cannot stop thinking about wanting to have, how interesting, I'm getting a reversal, wanting to be able to have stability, to settle down, to look at the anchor behind me that says, I refuse to sink. You don't want what has happened in the past to drag you down. You want to be stronger. Like, this is a person that has a tattoo. Like, I even actually have a tattoo there. Like, you endured pain and you've got something to show for it. And it's 9:33 on the clock, and you want that. You want something to show for it. You want something solid, something that can anchor you. And you keep thinking about this over and over and over. This is interesting because, like I said, I don't want reversals, and yet there's cards reversed right now. But so this snake card is this thing that came up the other day. The feminine having this temptation, having this tempting thing, having this past energy, third-party energy, interfering energy, whatever, somehow in the mix. You have felt unstable in the past because of your fears of something interfering with what you desire. You felt like you didn't, like, again, you don't want to get pulled down. You don't want to get pulled down by something. You don't want to get suffocated again or stuck in something again. And you have to believe that you've released this old energy, this old karmic cycle, that you have actually transformed, that transformation energy. And the way that you can go general about this is choices, okay? Believing that being stuck on one person is believing that you don't have a lot of choices. And if you think you don't have a lot of choices, then that one thing is really difficult to let go of. So when we need to let go of it, because the thing is like, what would remove the block? And it was like, just letting go of what you desire, letting go of it. And you're like, but how can I let it go? The only reason that you can't is because you fear there aren't other options. There are not other choices. You think there's this only one choice. But that is what's keeping you holding so tightly to this person, which is very, very repellent. So I want you to go general about a time in your life when you felt like you didn't have any other option. Interesting, because masculine doesn't know which option to choose, and you feel like you don't have any other options. So you need to go into a time when you felt like you had no other choice but to do something. And then you realized that that wasn't actually true. You really did have other options. You were just afraid of the other choices you had to make. And then when you did make that choice, you liberated yourself from whatever was keeping you stuck. So I'm thinking about when I lived in Whitensville, Massachusetts. My ex-husband and I shared custody of my son. We had 50-50 custody as long as I lived within driving distance of him. But he was my abuser. So I did not want to have to live in the same place that he lived in. I didn't have friends or support there. I felt very stuck, very tied down and pulled down by his energy. And my sister said she was going to move to Los Angeles, where I wanted to go for my music career. And because a lot of my friends had moved there after finishing in Berkeley. And I talked to my ex-husband about me leaving Los Angeles, because when we had first divorced, we had agreed, or me leaving Massachusetts, we had agreed that I would need to go somewhere that was more lucrative for my career. And his career allowed him to travel easily. So it would make sense for me to go where I needed to go. So I told him I wanted to go to Los Angeles and that I wanted to take my son. And he said no. And I cried and I was upset. And I was just like, how can you prevent me from pursuing my dreams? And he looked at me with his dead eyes and said, with pleasure, I'm not keeping you here. And I felt rage and like, I was like, get out of my house. Like, I was like, get out, I will kill you. And I went into my full like Italian Queen of Wands, like, fuck you, you psycho. Like that. He was just an infuriating person. So that was a very dramatic thing that happened. And I felt this rage. And I will tell you what, rage is up the tone scale, okay? When you feel despair, you can't do shit. But when you feel angry, it pushes you, it motivates you. It is that Queen of Wands energy that you need, because I was like, you know what? My love for my son is keeping me here. But if I don't go and do what I'm supposed to do, if I don't have love for myself, he wins. So I do have another choice. It's a hard choice to make because I have to somehow figure out how to maintain a relationship with my perfect, beautiful son who's the center of my life. But I will do it, because I will be damned that somebody will have control over me, that they will stop me from doing what I want to do, that they will tie me down and not allow me to become who I want to be, so that they can control me because they are mad at me. That is not going to happen. And it might feel like I don't have a choice, but I do. I have just a very hard choice to make. And I made that choice. And my son is amazing. He's 15 now. I made that choice when he was 8. He is loving, kind, communicative, open, fun. We have an amazing friendship. We spent all of COVID watching movies on Steiner together. It was a difficult choice, but it freed me from the bondage I was in so that I could do this job, so that I could help you make choices for yourself, so that I could make my record, so that I could prove to myself that I was worth it, so that my son could do the same thing for himself. Because if I had stayed and sacrificed everything for him, I would have taught him a very different lesson about what people do for one another. That story is an old story. It turns out you don't have to sacrifice your whole self to love someone else. When you love yourself, it allows you to have real love for someone. The love that I had for my son was wrapped up with resentment when I couldn't leave because I was so trapped by this person. It's a different type of love now. It's transformed. It's not perfect, but it wouldn't have been perfect if I had stayed either. I'm not saying even that would have been the wrong choice. It wouldn't. You can't make a wrong choice, and you'll never get it done. But one of the ways to let go of this person is not to think about letting go of this person. It's to think about the times in your life when you felt like you didn't have a choice. But remember that you did, and you made it, and it helped you. All right, the bottom of the deck, the thing that you have to be just prepared for, the thing that you don't see coming, the stork, the fresh new beginning. It is coming. You don't see it, but it is coming. Or rather, it is here. It's on the bottom of your deck, something you didn't see coming. All right, I hope everybody got a lot out of this 2-hour and 11-minute reading. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I shall see you again tomorrow. If you are a member of the site over on pearlsprayers.com, it's only $3 a month to be a member, or you can join the Spiritual Nourishment course and automatically be a member for a year with that course. Thank you so much. I shall see you tomorrow or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. You're going to catch me sometime, I'm sure. Have the best day.